What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dad Needs to Talk. I'm your host, Robert, and today we're going to be talking about Kodansha and specifically their KManga app. So, this has been a conversation that has been on my mind a lot recently, and so I've, over the last couple of weeks, kind of just been thinking, reflecting, taking notes and stuff because while I know I'm just some dude on the internet in my little small corner here in Texas, I do hope that maybe something I say might eventually find its way to somebody at KManga or Kodansha because people that have been following me, coming to Dad Needs to Talk for a while, know that aside from obviously talking about my family, being a father of 5 kids, 3 boys, twin girls, the other thing I am most known for talking about is manga. And sometimes over these years, since K manga has been a thing, it's been around since May of 2023. It'll be exactly 3 years in a couple of days from when I'm recording this. And so there is a lot of hope and potential with this, which is why I wanted to talk about this. So the way this conversation is going to go today is, like I said, we're going to start off talking about why and who is Kodansha, the K manga app and stuff, some of their titles they are most well known for, and then kind of breaking down some ways that I feel like both big and small that they could tweak some stuff, whatever, to make the platform more accessible and to help it grow. Because I feel like in the end, if K manga became more accessible and had a few tweaks done, that it could honestly sit right alongside popular apps like the Shonen Jump app and Viz and stuff like that. So, all right, so let's go ahead and just dive into it. So, Kodansha and K manga. Now, I know a lot of people don't always look at, company names and stuff, whatever. They at most maybe know, you know, maybe a author or something that, or the studio that made the anime or something like that or whatever. But as far as like digging deeper into the woods of like, okay, who is publishing these books or these magazines and all that stuff? Well, like I said, the reason why this conversation I feel like is much needed is because Kodansha is probably one of the biggest companies that make manga right up there next to Shueisha, who of course, like I said, owns Shonen Jump and Viz and stuff, which has popular series, of course, like Jujutsu Kaisen, One Piece, Naruto, etc., etc. Um, Now, Kodansha and K-Manga, for those of y'all watching the YouTube video of this. So, just as far as like some like legacy series and stuff, they have uh good lord, my brain immediately blanked. They have stuff like Fairy Tale, Attack on Titan, and a lot of older classic stuff. And then as far as like current day stuff, actually let me switch back to my other camera. Some of my favorite series I've talked about since I started this podcast, like Witch Hat Atelier, which has an anime right now, Blue Period, Sweat and Soap, Magus of the Library. Like I said, these are just some of the ones I have physically on my shelf. And if I told you that, hey, there is a app that has tons of dope manga that pretty much it's always something coming out almost every day because like for the most part with Shonen Jump and stuff like that, typically 90% of their stuff is Sunday. Sunday is the big day, and once again I'm speaking from a U.S. North America perspective. So Sunday is typically the big day of week, and of course there are some things here and there kind of sprinkled throughout the week, but the big day is Sunday. With Kodansha and KManga. If you look at their Twitter account, damn near every day they are posting, hey, new chapter of this, new chapter of this, new chapter of this. And I wanted just to show y'all just a glimpse of when I go to their homepage. And so we're gonna scroll through their top 100 as far as like what like the like popular series thing, whatever. So like I said, those of y'all watching the video, y'all can see the thumbnails of different series, whatever. But I'm just gonna call out, like I said, just some of the ones specifically that have had a anime in the last few years or that I have talked about on the podcast. So Shangri-La Frontier, once again, which had Atelier, Wistoria, Gachi Akuta, Windbreaker, Rent a Girlfriend, Blue Lock, Fragrant Flowers Bloom with Dignity, Warrior Princess, Reincarnated as a Slime, Witch and Mercenary, Isekai Doctor. And like I said, we're just only in the top 20. Vinland Saga, Ace of Diamond. Like I said, my eyes are just darting around. Eden Zero, Galaxy Next Door, Tower Dungeon, A Sign of Affection. Let's see, Tomodachi Game, Medalist, Heavenly Delusion. I'm bouncing around. A recent new favorite of mine, Mom in a Dungeon, In the Clue Moonlit Dusk, Tokyo Revengers. Like I said, the list just goes on and on and on. And like I said, these are just ones I am just darting around, just picking some just to name. So most would be like, wow, Robert, there is a app and a website that has all these really cool series. And like I said, so many, like they are constantly putting out new hidden gems all the time. Cause like I said, like when I kind of like look through my my YouTube stuff that I've done in like the last like couple of years, I'm like, okay, you know, like I said, Warrior Princess is on there. They just added Lonely Deaths, Lie Thick as Snow, Galaxius. Oh, the whole Young Magazine contest they did last year. Tower Dungeon again. Longing for Home, Witch and Mercenary. Like I said, I think y'all get my point of there is so many series that generate a lot of buzz and conversations every freaking week that I'm like, it is just frustrating. And so I'm gonna kind of take a little bit of a step back. And so, like I said, for the KManga app, like I said, it launched 3 years ago, and they have made some changes and stuff. Whatever, it's not, of course, it has evolved a little bit over the years since it came out, but it still has a ways to go. So, as far as structure with the KManga app, so it pretty much mostly runs off of like a coin based and ticket based system. And so what I mean by that is that so right now they have it where every day you log into the app, you get 5 free tickets. And so whenever you click on a series, let me see. Let me just pick one. Let me see if I can get it. Oh, don't want to read it. Okay. So when you click on a series, let me get my screen switched over so y'all can see what I am talking about. I guess I already did some of this. But anywho, so they have it where you can either buy chapters or, like I said, there are some that are available for quote unquote free with tickets. And so the big thing with that whole system is that there is no cohesion and consistency across the board. Because, like I said, for example, on the Shonen Jump app, with your subscription, or even without the subscription, I would say whatever, they have maybe like a few chapters at the beginning that you can read, and then like the three most recent chapters are free to read. and then anything else you have to subscribe to, and then you get access to everything else. And then like on like the Manga Plus app, everything is pretty much free for the most part. Like one time, for for the most part, they do have some vault stuff, whatever. But otherwise you have to subscribe, to continue reading stuff over and over and over. Like I said, with K Manga, the big thing for me, like I said, with the whole structure is that it can vary so much from series to series on how many chapters are free, what you got to pay for, even the price of the chapters. So basically, I think I had wrote down, so okay, yeah, so currency wise, 100 points equals pretty much $1. And chapters can range anywhere from 69 points to over like close to 180 points, which is basically, let's say, 70 cents to, $1.80 per chapter. And like I said, there is no consistent flow state, because even like thinking like on Webtoon, when I was on that more frequently or whatever, where like the newest stuff you would have to pay for, like paid to get coins or whatever to access the chapter, or hey, if you wait a week or two, whatever, it eventually becomes free type of thing. But like I said, with K Manga, they don't have that consistency. And so I think that is kind of like one of the biggest things that they could tweak to make it more approachable to people, because I'll just say up front, I, and like many others, would love, hey, charge $10 a month for a flat out subscription. I will pay. Now, I know they do have like a coin subscription thing to where, hey, you can pay X amount of every month and you get a bunch of coins to then spend on chapters. But ideally, like super big dream is ideally just a flat subscription. Let me pay you freaking $10 a month. Because like I said, the amount of series I named a while ago, yeah, I'll pay freaking $10 a month to be able to like keep up with all these series. Because a lot of these series is like, you know, I'm not always in the mood to read, every single day. And that's kind of also where the ticketing system, they need to change that as well, because it's like the free tickets you get every day, they expire after 48 hours. And like I said, I'm a dad, I work, family, kids, they keep me busy. And so it might be several days before I have a relaxed window where it's like, you know what, okay, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna catch up on X series. Well, it's like, well, every day I still log in to get my free tickets or whatever, but it's like if I don't read for 4 or 5 days, well, all those tickets that I'm logging in every day, whatever, they're not stockpiling or whatever. They're just constantly expiring. And then it's like, well, okay, I have a weekend free. Cool. I want to catch up on a whole bunch of series, but it's like, well, because the tickets are expiring, okay, maybe I can catch up on, a few things here and there, but not as much as what I would love to if, like I said, if the tickets didn't expire or it was just a flat out subscription. So, like I said, big thing for me would be consistency across the board on, hey, there is a standard, and hey, it could be a different thing for like, hey, this is a series that is fully complete. That could be one thing versus, hey, this is a series that is ongoing. That is fine. But like I said, there needs to be some type of structure, because the biggest pain in the butt for a lot of people is they oftentimes split up chapters into multiple parts. So it's like, okay, cool. New chapter is out, and then it's like, yeah, chapter, 135, part one. And then it's like a handful of pages, and it's like, okay, then maybe next week, or sometimes they drop them together. Sometimes it's you get part one this week, then part one another week or another day or whatever. And it's like, come on, it's like y'all are already nickel and diming. Now you're charging like basically like 70 cents for parts of a chapter. Once again, like I said, hey, if it was that amount for a full chapter, maybe. But it's like, heck no, I am not paying that for, you know, 8 pages twice. It's like, come on. And so, like I said, consistency across the board. And then there are some series where, after X amount of time, as more chapters come out, then eventually the previous chapters become free. Cause I know like The Witch and the Mercenary and what's the other one I enjoy reading? The Taking a Walk in Another World. Both of those do that to where it's like, okay, hey, I'll catch up to like right before the couple of paid chapters, the newer ones, whatever. And then hey, I'll come back in a month and then it's like, oh, okay, now there's another handful of chapters for me to read for free using my tickets. And then okay, hey, well, I'll stop there. Or every now and then, depending on if it's like at a really good part, I'm like, screw it, I want to see. Okay, yeah, I'll pay the coins to read the current chapter. But like I said, just make some type of standard. And honestly, I think, like I said, I think just those couple of tweaks would go a very long way. Cause yeah, like I said, you know, there's always so much conversations and discourse online, but it's like the conversations of like, oh my God, everything is ending and there's nothing new to read. And many people like myself that are really tapped into the wider breadth of manga out there and stuff is like, nah, there is a million things to read just on stuff that is translated, and then not even touching on the unknown stuff that hasn't been translated yet that are hidden gems and stuff, whatever, waiting to be discovered someday or waiting to be picked up and licensed by somebody. But yeah, so like I said, I hope that some of the things I said make some type of sense because, like I said, it is just so frustrating seeing the potential that Kodansha and KManga have. Because, like I said, like looking at their catalog, it'll be talk of the town every freaking week because think about how many people talk about Shangri-La Frontier and new chapters of Gachiakata and stuff like that every week, and probably a good chunk of them ain't reading on, K manga or a official source, or whatever, because of like I said, how the structure and stuff is, and it's like, okay, well, I guess I'll pay for a part of the chapter, and maybe I'll get it free, and like I said, it gets very messy very quickly. But like I said, I think that if they do a few of the things that I suggest, like I said, big dream picture is hey, $10 a month or something like that, flat fee. That would be the ideal thing. But like I said, even just having a standard schedule of hey, no more split chapters. The chapters are going to be together, and this is the standard amount for the chapter. And then hey, each week or whenever the new chapter comes out, the previous one becomes free. That is really all you have to do, and that would go a long way. Like I said, it might not be the ideal scenario, like I said, like with Shonen Jump and Viz, where hey, you just pay for a subscription and you just get everything. But like I said, I think that this would at least be a good starting point to meet people in the middle. Cause I know, a lot of people talk about like, well, in Japan, they love the coin-based system and yada yada yada. And of course, yes, that is cool. But when I kind of got reminded looking back on the history of K manga when it launched a few years ago, and it launched, I believe, exclusively in the US at first. And then over these last few years, they've expanded it to more and more and more countries and regions and stuff. But it's like yeah, you can't always take what a lot of people expect in one region and then just apply it over here to this other region just because lifestyles, expectations, different stuff like that. It's like, hey, while yes, we all complain about there are too many subscriptions, but that is a understandable standard versus this. Okay, wait, why are the chapters split up into 2, 3 parts? And wait, I'm having to pay for each one. And oh, well, I've been logging in every day getting these tickets, but oh, they've also been expiring. Yeah. So, like I said, I rambled a lot. I hope that somebody was able to make some type of sense out of what I said. And like I said, if anybody from KManga or Kodansha ever sees this, know that, like I said, everything I said comes from somebody who is a fan of the medium of manga and somebody who just wants to continue to champion so many dope series that get, you know, uh glossed over or go under the radar. Because I'm even looking at like the Isekai Doctor, amazing art, cool series and stuff, and it's like barely anybody know about it. But it would be cool to be able to talk and recommend the app more because, cause matter of fact, so when what is that manga I had just read recently called that they just put on the app? Let me see. Yeah, so Lonely Deaths Lie Thick as Snow. That one's been pretty popular. I read and reviewed volume one when that came out back in March. And I kept getting people in my comments being like, hey, or hit me up being like, hey, where can I read this? Where can I read this? And of course, at the time, it was like, well, only place I know is just buying the volume, which I had got, a copy of for review. And then a few weeks ago, when they put it on the KManga app, I'm like, oh, cool, I can read more. And I'm like, this would be awesome to be like, hey, yo, the KManga app has that series that y'all been talking about or whatever. And like I said, I can do that, but I also know that it's always going to be with a little bit of a caveat of like, it's on KManga, but versus like, hey, it's on the Shonen Jump app, freaking $5 a month or whatever, or a couple bucks, whatever it is. And okay, cool. Or like say, you can read it on Manga Plus. And it's okay, just read it. And so yeah, like I said, I'm loving so many series that are on this app, and I would just love to be able to easily, with that hesitation, be able to be like, oh yeah, hey, oh, I loved your review or I loved your thoughts on this. That sounded interesting. Where did you read it? Oh, hey, it's on KManga app. Okay, cool. I would love to be able to do that without hesitation and with as few caveats and asterisks and stuff as possible. So, but like I said, I hope y'all enjoy this discussion and the things I had to say. And like I said, please feel free to chime in, help spread the word. Because like I said, and hey, if somebody from Kodansha want to be like, hey, I want to talk to you about your ideas, hit me up. But like I said, I doubt this would ever reach anybody's ears in Japan. But like I said, you never know. In today's day and age with the internet connecting us all, it's even fun sometimes when myself or other friends in the space that do reviews of different series and post them on our Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and then somehow the author of the series likes the post or reshares it or whatever, and it's like that's pretty dope that me here recording my itty bitty closet in my house in my home, my voice reached the creator on the other side of the planet. That is pretty dope. And like I said, hopefully the points I made, the things I had to say reaches to the other side of the world, or heck, even just reaches the U.S. branch of Kodansha first. Somebody. But anyway, I'm rambling on now. As always, thank you so much for watching or listening. And you can find me everywhere at Danny's Talk for all my thoughts and conversations surrounding not just manga, but of course, fatherhood and family, anime, TV shows, movies, and of course, some video games. And with that, y'all be awesome. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be easy. Peace.